Good morning. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today's video is going to be the second half of my what solds for last week, which would be Friday through Sunday, April 8th through the 10th. I had a good weekend in the fact that I actually made at least one sale on all 6 of my platforms. I've just recently started Plush, so this might be the first time I've done all 6. So that was good. I'm thrilled with that, including Bonanza, which I hadn't sold anything on Bonanza since the beginning of March, and I haven't sold anything since, but that's just okay. I think Bonanza, the last time I logged on there, they're starting to really push memberships, which I think is like their promoted listings or whatever. They want you to pay to promote. I'm not sure. I started out with that, and it just really, I don't make enough sales to warrant that. Now we're on eBay. Like this month I changed my promoted listings to trending, or whatever they're calling it now, capped at 10%, and I've seen a big increase in sales. I'm up about 8.5% from last month. That's not big, but I was kind of steadily getting worse since January. January was an amazing month for me, and it just kind of was decreasing a little bit each month. I think February was okay, but so I'm not going to go there with Bonanza. So, you know, Bonanza's so easy because all you do is sync your eBay account with it, and it's every time you list something on eBay, it just goes on over to Bonanza. I started out really well on there though the beginning of this year, so I'm not quite sure what happened. It is what it is. Even Poshmark, it's like the first month I did what I consider pretty good, considering I only had, you know, so many listings, but I haven't sold anything on there in the last 3 days, so I might have to go on there and maybe, I don't know, send out bigger offers or something. I don't know. I actually have a message sent to a friend asking her what would she suggest, because she's been doing Posh a whole lot longer than me. But if you've got any suggestions, you know, I was getting like almost daily sales like the first month once I just kind of got things going, and then just nothing. All right. Let's see, like I said, all 6 platforms. And as far as clothing items, I show you one because I didn't sell any non-clothing stuff on Posh, and I just wanted to have a little tab up there. But for clothing, I sold that weekend 6 on eBay and 4 on Posh. I have a little cheat sheet right here to remind me on how much stuff actually sold for. So there it is. Of course, I forgot again. Tuesday, don't forget Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be doing a live show. We're going to put Robert in front of the camera again. So have your questions ready. It's going to be our 1 year on YouTube anniversary. And we're hoping to do a couple of giveaways, but just mostly sit around and chat, talk, have some fun, get to know each other maybe a little bit better. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. First item was, I picked this up recently. It's a Disney Toy Story Gabby girl. At first I thought she was Pooh, but Google Lens helped me out here, and she's from Toy Story. I took a best offer of $10 for her. I think this was from the Goodwill bins. I'm not sure. Y'all, I'm just sourcing so much stuff that there was a time when I could tell you, I could picture it in my mind what house I bought something from, how much I paid for it. But since I started this massive sourcing, things kind of get... This is from Ho Sung, and he was called Paw Pal's Lil Boo Boo Bear. And he did talk, he made sounds, he shook, all of that. I did include a video down here on how he works. I really am enjoying that. Although I'm having problems with flipper tools. I found another one where I can put my link from my YouTube channel, which I did start a new channel, that's just for my toy testing. And then you take that link and you put it in this other thing that changes it so that it's eBay worthy, and then I paste it into my listing. But that Flipper Tools, which is what I started with, isn't working for me. I'm not quite sure what's wrong, but I did find another one. All right, so this Boo Boo Bear sold for $11.66. Again, most of this stuff probably came from the bins. I paid by the pound, so you know, it's $1 or less at least. Most things are just pennies because of their weight. And again, if you're new to my channel, I don't do free shipping. I have calculated shipping for things over a pound, and then I do flat rate shipping based on weight for less than a pound, my first class packages. This next item is a Soft Dreams Brown Bear plush. Some Soft Dreams plush sell for quite a bit, but for some reason I have found quite a few of these bears. They're just my bread and butter. It did sell for best offer of $12. This is Subway Looney Tunes. I've talked about these a lot. These came from my high bid online estate sale that I bought last year. Go back and watch some of those videos. I have found such amazing things, but I'm down to just a couple of boxes of what looked like mostly fast food toys. But I did find a Walmart bag in one of the boxes, and it was full of mostly Subway toys. Just different characters, different lines. Thomas, Dexter, Powerpuff Girls. These were Looney Tunes, just a whole variety. So I divided them all out into the lots of matching stuff. This one had set of 10. They were from 1999. I had 5 sealed and 5 loose. And I ended up selling this for best offer of $43. So definitely, I think of all of the fast food toys, I've had the best luck with these Subway toys. Who'da thunk? This is Plan Toys. I think this, I picked this up at a yard sale, probably paid $1 or so for it. I like Plan Toys. They're wooden toys. This took me forever to sell though. So, you know, I like to get the ones that are on a pull string and they make noises. Those are the cutest ones. I think I've sold a dog and I have an alligator right now in my store. But this sold for $13.45. It was a little bowling game. Uh-oh, I didn't quite fix that one up right. This didn't have a tag, so I was not sure who the manufacturer is. So I just put in any keywords that I can think of. Blue Bear. It has an I love you heart size, that type. It wasn't listed very long, and I actually think this might have gone international, and I took a best offer of $9 for it. This is again from the same high bid thing, another Subway toy. I only had this one Maisie mouse, so I kept it separate. It was sealed and it sold for $13.45. I picked these up at an estate sale recently. I want to say they were like $1/4 at a half price sale. It was a partial package, but I remember watching on Bolo Buddies, I believe, her talk about the Empire barrel, I guess vintagey type pencils. These were neon, pinks, orange, and yellows, unused. So I just went ahead and listed them for $9.95. That's kind of my go-to on this type of stuff. And it sold very quickly for $8.96. This is an Idaho potato plush. I find these, believe it or not, quite often. Just different types of potatoes plush. And this one ended up, I sold it for for $7.15. I cannot make up my mind. But $7. You know, it's a simple plush, very little. Look, I took 4 pictures, front, back, the bottom specifically to show that it didn't have a tag, and then with the tape measure, you know, and I'm done with it. Pack it up, put it away. This is Gunned Peter Rabbit. It was a 14-inch plush. It's more contemporary, probably within the last few years. And he sold for $9.86. This is Princess Soft Toys. This did have its paper tag, so I knew that his name was Marshmallow. He was a Borders bookstore exclusive from 2007. I took a best offer of $12 on him. This is Hasbro For Real. I'll pick these up if they're clean, and hope usually that they work. A lot of times make sure when you are picking up the For Reals, especially these smaller ones, that their legs aren't broken. If they've got movable ears, their ears aren't broken, that type of stuff. I actually had 2 of these listed, and one of them I listed recently and just changed my quantity, but the other one had been listed a while, and then in just the last few weeks, both of them have sold. He did sell for $8.96. Again, I usually pay like less than $1 or less at yard sales for them. This was from the sourcing trip to the Goodwill bins in St. Louis. I bought a bunch of Fisher-Price Little People, Disney, Mickey Mouse items. I think he was from the second time that we went, just here recently. But I had already learned this is a definite bolo, because usually, you know, I probably have less than $1 in this, and he did sell for $15.25. This is Anna Lee. I think I picked this up at an estate sale. I picked up a couple of Anna Lee deers. I want to say I paid $1 each for them. The other 2 were the same year, and I kept them together, but this one was a different year on the tag, so I kept it separate. And it sold for best offer of $15. These next 2 were to the same buyer. She didn't wait for me to combine shipping, so I did end up giving her a refund on the shipping. These were the Arizona Blake Gas and Oil cups that we've featured in a haul recently. I sold the picture for like $160, and then there were 7 matching cups that went with it. I think I'm only down, I have like 2 left now, but both of these cups sold for $16.16. It was this one and that one. So definitely keep your eyes out for this series of pitchers and glasses, because it was amazing. Robert found them at an estate sale, and we paid $12 for the whole set. This is from Kohl's Cares. I pick all of them up. Usually they're my bread and butter, like $8 to $12. This one was Marvin K. Mooney from Dr. Seuss, and I actually ended up selling it for $7.15. But I've got pennies in these. If I pick this up at the bins, it's probably 50 cents or less. This is Circo, which is Target. Definitely a brand to always check, because it's Target only plush, and so it's somewhat limited. And once, you know, especially like these baby toys, once a mama's got one of them, she wants to make sure she's going to have a backup if it ever gets lost, if it becomes one of those lovey security type plush. This one ended up selling for $13.45. And this, okay, I had a crazy high price on that. This came from my online estate sale, which was last May that we purchased all this stuff. At the time that I listed it, it was probably, this was, you know, maybe a little bit above average, but I got an offer for $22 for it. And when I went back and checked comps, there were stuff that were listed and sold around that price. So I just went ahead and let it go. $22 is excellent, I think, for a plush. And I have made my money back on that estate sale that we purchased. This is Ty. Love Ty. I'm telling you, don't just disregard them. Definitely check them. This is one of the beanies from 1999. His name was Zip, and he sold for $13.45. Didn't have his paper tag. And then here's another one. This is from 2001. This was just a bulldog plush. No paper tag again, and he sold for best offer of $8. I had a tote that was actually buried under a whole bunch of stuff. I went to an estate sale and bought a large tote of Lego Duplos. It was packed almost to the brim. I paid $40 for all of it. And initially I pulled out all of the zoo animals, and I think I want to say I sold them for like $80 or $90. I sold something else from there, and then it just kind of got set aside. So the other day I was determined to deal with some of my death piles and happened to move a bag and realized that that tote was buried. Pulled it out and just started sorting all the Legos out. I had a few more animals that I missed, but mostly it was a lot of the blocks, car parts, and it's just stuff like, and then a few Mega Bloks things. So I just divvied it all out. I spent probably, I don't know, 30 minutes dividing everything out, and then I just started taking pictures and getting it processed. This sold immediately. This is a Lego Duplo Green Goblin figure, and it sold for the $12.95. This is Gund Tender Teddy Bear. He's 12 inches from 1983. He sold for $17.95. This also was from the online estate sale on HiBid. It was SpaghettiOs Buzz Lightyear, kind of like a puzzle soup bowl type thing. It sold for $9.50 best offer. Here's another Circo plush. This was a mini sock monkey. It did have its little paper tag. Believe it or not, this 10-inch plush sold for $15.25. And then this cookbook Robert picked up at an estate sale. I want to say we paid $1 or $2 for it. It did not have its dust jacket, which is the paper that goes around the outside of it. Had some wear, but for everything that I could see on there, it seemed to be from 1968. I heard that there's like a new series out. I don't watch TV, but there's a new thing out about Julia Child, so there's a renewed interest in a lot of the stuff about her. And the cookbook sold for $15.25. So no grand big sales for that weekend, but I'm still happy that, you know, sales have been picking up for me. Now here's the things that sold on other platforms. I only had one Facebook purchase. It was this Fisher-Price Little People dinosaur. It sold for $8. My one and only Bonanza sale. This was a SeaWorld polar bear plush. It sold for $14.95. These next two were on Mercari. This was a Applause cloth Gretchen doll from 1982. It sold for $10. I think she sent me an offer. And then this was a Boyd's Bear, Brianna Tippy Toes. Didn't have its paper tag, but usually if you take a Google lens of definitely the Boyd's Bears and, you know, the Squishmallows, it helps you identify them. It sold for $7. Again, it was a best offer. And then this was on Etsy. This was a Paddington Bear plush from 1995. Pretty sure this was also from my HiBid estate sale. I sold a lot of that that weekend. It sold for $17.95. Somebody recently sent me a message saying, I don't know if it's specifically in England, but there's a renewal, maybe a new movie or something that Paddington is getting more attention now. So I've sold several Paddingtons this month, so I'm thinking if you've got Paddington, definitely get it listed. And last but not least, this was probably the highest dollar thing that I sold on Poshmark. It was a pair of, right here, White House Black Market jeans. I sold for $24, and like I said at the beginning of the video, I did sell 4 pairs of jeans, which is kind of what we're focusing on, although I do pick up other things. But we've been doing a whole lot of jeans on eBay and then cross-listing to all the other platforms. But the clothes specifically to Poshmark, I'm not at a point where I also want to list them on Mercari or anything. I'm just kind of focusing on Poshmark. But I've had such amazing sales on there as far as these last couple of weeks on non-clothing items that, you know, I'm trying to do maybe 30 or 40 cross listings on there a day. I don't want any kind of one of their bots picking up on too many listings, because I've already been suspended twice, I think right at the beginning, because I was listing too much. So just be wary if you decide to sign up for Poshmark to not grow quickly. Don't grow quickly on there. So I'm just keeping it to 30 or 40 when I do cross this, and some days it's only 10 depending on what's happening for my day. All right, I think that's it. I am actually going to turn right around, and I have a what sold video, but I'm going to focus on my some of the sales, higher dollar sales that I had in February, and then I'll do another one probably later in the month or next month for March. So it'll be just like a what I consider bolos for each month, just to, for those people who haven't watched all of my videos, it'll be a good time to, for those of you that do, to remind you of the things that I sold that were higher dollar, like $25 and up. Because, you know, for the most part, my sales, I have a whole lot of bread and butter, which for me is like $8 to $12. But, you know, I wanted to show that those people who say they don't want to sell anything for less than $20 or $25, that Plush is still something that you should focus on. You know, at least check the comps. All right, bye.